Hello everyone and welcome to The Helpful Hustle. I'm Bex and today I've got another fantastic expert that is here to help you with all of your needs when it comes to your small business. Now today we're talking all about PR and why you as a small business might just need it. So I brought in a friend of mine who is the director of Boxed Out PR, Hayley Smith. Hayley, hello, lovely to see you.
Hi, thanks for having me and hello, thanks for joining.
Well, it's really great to have you here because we both used to work in PR. You obviously still continue to do so. The PR I remember back in the day, public relations in its most traditional form, is very much not what the landscape looks like now. So I think to start things off, let's talk about what PR is in today's society.
Yes, you're completely right. The landscape has changed drastically, even obviously most recently, but even in the last couple of years. So for example, as an agency, we tend to now stay away from the more traditional PR in terms of the print publications, just because there's, in my opinion, not really much value in them. And there's a lot more value in digital publications, digital PR. But moving away from the more traditional PR side of things is that what we're doing as agents, we're looking across sort of the digital landscape. So the most effective form of PR now is getting you directly in front of your clients, your customers, your market. And as much as digital publications do that, it's sometimes very much a slow burn and a very much a long game. And so looking at things like webinars and podcasts, blog posts, using platforms like Medium to create content on, build your profile, is great for your SEO building, but also especially things like live podcasts, live webinars, even virtual events and online events. You have an engaged audience that is already listening to you, that is there because they're interested in what you have to say, interested in what you're talking about, what your guests are talking about, what the webinar series is about, and the conversion rates are higher, the engagement rates are higher. You have an instant platform to sell, to direct people to your website, direct people to your social media. So in my opinion, that's valuable PR now. And also we do a lot of influencer marketing. And once again, the influencer landscape has changed so much, and everyone's sort of readdressing what the term influencer really means. For me is that, yes, you've got the Instagram influencers and hundreds of thousands of followers, which if you have the budgets, they are effective. And again, they put you directly in front of an engaged audience, but it can be often time consuming, expensive, and a lot of effort for very little output if you don't have the sort of the big budgets available. For me now, an influencer is someone that is working within your industry or your market, who is targeted, not necessarily doing the same thing that you are, but targeting the same audience, and who has a larger following and a larger outreach and a larger network than you do, that you can tap into. And you can do that through joint LinkedIn articles, inviting them to write a blog post on your website, doing a webinar with them, a podcast. And you're instantly put out to a larger following and to an audience that is your ideal customer. So for me now, that is very much the influencer marketing route that we're going down. We're not ignoring the Instagram influencer market by any means, because there's still a lot of value in it. But it is just looking at sort of the key people within your industry who you can target that already have that audience there and already basically marketing the same things that you are.
Yeah, and I think a lot of the stuff that you've said there is kind of common sense for a lot of people. It's like there's things that you just basically need to get out there. You need to network, you need to be on show, you need to put your business out there. Mm-hmm. And I think the difference between doing it yourself and hiring in an agency such as yourself is it's outsourcing in a really positive way. It's a really strong investment for any business, because you should really focus on what you do really well and let experts like yourself focus on what you guys do really well. Am I right?
No, absolutely, 100%. And I think that from an agency point of view, or a freelancer or outsourcing, is that we do have the contacts. We have the ability to do it. We have the know-how. We've already done it. We have the experience and the knowledge to do it. We have the setup. Most of us are invested in platforms that we sort of give over to our clients in order to build things like virtual events and webinars and podcasts. And also we have the time. Is like, for my own personal thing, like I admit I neglect my own social media, and I've just hired an agency to do it because I just don't have the time to do it. And I know how important it is, but I would prefer working on clients and getting them results and rather than the business development side. And I'm very fortunate now that I have a team in place where I'm able to focus more on that side of things. But if you're a smaller business or a startup, you don't. And hiring someone, trust me, it saves you a lot of money, and hiring the right person saves you a lot of money and time in the long run.
Yeah. And also, I think we've got to dispel a myth that essentially hiring a PR agency to do the work for you doesn't have to cost you a retainer of £10,000 a month, does it?
No, not at all. I'm very much the believer that PR doesn't need to cost that much money. And unlike other areas of marketing, such as digital marketing, is that the output, as I said, it's a long game most of the time, and the output isn't necessarily instant results driven. It's a lot of time, a lot of effort. So anyone that's paying tens of thousands of pounds into PR, unless you're a massive company that have sort of can run these massive campaigns, you're just not going to see a return on it. And so we keep our fees small. We have very little overheads that we're able to keep them minimal. And I think for some agencies, all you are paying for is their overheads.
Yeah.
And I think that, and I've worked with agencies before, and I've worked in-house as an agency as a freelancer. And I have a lot of clients come to me who have been to a big agency and are absolutely petrified of PR because they've spent too much money for few little results. And what happens with a big agency sometimes, not all of them, some of them are great, but sort of with some of them is that if you're not putting in the most amount of money, you're not the biggest client, you get bumped down to the bottom. And I've known people that have come and said, oh, we had these amazing conversations with the director and MD and we signed and have never heard from them since.
Right. Yeah.
And with my company, I have no need to or want to grow it to a massive agency. There's 3 of us at the moment, and to be honest, I don't think I would want it to get any bigger, or at least I don't have the need to at the moment. And what I guarantee is when clients work with me, they get direct communication with me at all times. So I'm the one that they speak to begin with. I'm the one that we discuss the strategy with. I'm the one that is forward facing for them all times. They get support, they get access to the other team, but I'm the one that's always sort of the facing and the human part of the business, I guess.
So it's kind of like, I suppose for any small business, that's really reassuring because it's a small business working with another small business who understands those needs and wants in which to have that kind of communication and that personal touch. For anyone who is probably sitting here going, actually, let's go back to basics. Let's pit PR against advertising. What is the big difference and how do people kind of understand that long game that you talk about versus investing the same money and getting the ad results?
Advertising tends to be a lot more expensive. It does depend on what form of advertising you're looking into now, because there's so many different streams in terms of digital marketing and social media advertising. I'm a massive advocate of digital marketing. If you have a digital marketing budget, use it, and use it wisely and use it well. Most of my clients now, I will say to them that if you're not investing in digital marketing, you do it. Like it's so important right now. And I even have sort of clients who have spoken to owners of big companies that even 6 months ago were saying, oh no, digital marketing, don't need it, don't need to invest in it. It's not that important. So like literally the same conversations now, and they were like, oh yeah, we've just found like $100,000 budget for digital advertising. So it is important, it does sort of produce quicker results. However, what it doesn't do that PR can do is it builds authority. It keeps your company present. It keeps the momentum of the digital marketing going. It builds profile, it builds brand awareness. Is that anyone can put in 100, 200, thousands of pounds into digital advertising and sell a product or a service and get results. What PR does is that it basically tells me if I'm looking at something, an article or a webinar or podcast, I'm listening to a podcast, it's basically telling me that they are there because they're a personal authority, they're sharing their expertise, they're building they have a profile, and people buy into that, and they invest in that, and they follow your story. And yes, it is a long game. So I've had met people at events or spoke at events in the past, and sort of like 6 months down the line had a call from them and be like, you spoke at this event back in November, I'd love to talk about PR. And again, it's like the same for other businesses. But I think that for me is that PR really gets to the heart of your business. Digital marketing doesn't do that. And people now more than ever buy into people and buy into human interest stories, and they buy into how the story of your business, and digital marketing just can't do that.
Yeah.
PR really can. And I think that digital marketing is very much, here's my product, buy my product or buy my service. And PR is very much, here's the story of how I got to this product. Here's the story of I got to this service. And it just adds the depth and authority behind it. And obviously we both know social media advertising works incredibly well. But I don't know about anyone else, but for me, is if I see a product online or if I see it being sold and I've never heard of the company, but it's of my interest or it's what I'm looking for or something, because we all know how targeted advertising works. First thing I would do is Google it, and I will see what the reviews are. I will see what the press is talking about it. And I for example, I listened to a video yesterday about I have tinnitus. And there was an advert that popped up, and it was like the best cure for tinnitus, and I was like, okay, I'll buy it. And it was selling this new supplement, and I don't have it very badly. I got it from having meningitis a couple of years ago, so I've never really looked into other therapies, but I listened to the video and actually learned quite a lot from the video. But the first thing I did about the product was Google the product, and there was nothing online. Absolutely nothing. And what that tells me is that product doesn't work. And so what PR does, it just adds that little bit of, I know I keep using the word authority, but it adds so much authority behind a product, especially for smaller brands that no one's heard of.
Yeah, so important for small businesses, because, and I'm often telling my clients, from a very basic level, like, tell people your story, tell them how you got to where you are. That's your own PR. That's your own ability to get out there and explain who you are, because people buy into the product, but buy into the person as much as they buy into the product itself. And that's where your loyalty is going to be built as well. And Hayley, you work with a number of a wide variety of clients as well, because I think sometimes a lot of people can go, well, I don't know even where to start with speaking to an agency because I don't know if they would even take on my kind of business. Can you let us know what Boxed Out PR sort of covers in terms of clients?
Yes. So how we specialize. So it's sort of lifestyle clients, but what does that term really mean anymore? I call it PR with a purpose. So we work and deliver purposely driven campaigns. We work with clients and companies that are making some sort of impact, social impact, whether it be industry, socially, globally even. But they are all of our companies are making some sort of difference. So we work with companies that are tackling equality, companies that are tackling sexual harassment in the workplace. We work with the vegan beauty brand that we're doing a massive slow beauty campaign at the moment. We work with a careers coach that helps entrepreneurs and business professionals sort of overcome or avoid burnout. So it's very varied. We work across different industries, but all of our clients are making a difference. And it goes back to that storytelling, is that those stories you can't tell through digital marketing and advertising. Those stories are PR. And we actually get a lot more results from sharing those stories than sort of direct product and service promotion, especially in this landscape, because another thing that's changed is a lot of people are after advertising. And as soon as you pitch your product with no sort of human interest story behind it, you'll get literally a direct email back from the sales team or the marketing person and say, hey, it's going to cost you this much to feature. So having that human interest story. And I had this exact same conversation with a client the other day. They've designed their own cake boxes, and they have an amazing story about how they created this cake box. And her first question was, but how can I guarantee that, so it's not copyrighted, how can I guarantee that someone isn't going to take this design and copy it? And I said, happens every day. I said, China mass produce products all the time. People steal ideas all the time, but what they can't steal is your story and the story that led you to create this box. And that's what makes you unique. They can't emulate that. They can't emulate you. No one can copy you.
Yeah.
No one can copy who you are. They can't copy your business story. They can't copy your challenges, what you've overcome, your successes. That's all you.
Yeah, and that's such wise words. We're running out of time, unfortunately, Hayley, for this one. But
oh no!
We could talk about this for hours. People will have to tune in. We'll have to do more of these. But for now, how can people get in touch with you and find out more about Boxed Out PR?
So my website is www.boxedoutpr.com. And always happy for you to connect with me on Twitter, either through @BoxedOutPR or @official Hayley S, which I need to change. I'm not entirely sure where it came from. But also happy for anyone to always direct email me on hayley.smith@boxedoutpr.com.
Brilliant. Hayley, thank you so much. And guys, really wise words there from Hayley, all about how you can use PR to really leverage your offering as a small business. So get in touch with Hayley if you have any questions. Stay tuned to more of these conversations with experts here on The Helpful Hustle, and I'll see you again soon.